Hello. Oh, okay, there I am. Hello. Hello. It's me. I'm a cat. Oh, my face itches. Hold on. Only when... Ah! Only after I hit... Oh my god. Only after I turn my mic on does everything start happening. My body is just like, oh yeah, I remember everything that I have to do now. Anyway, hi, it's me. I'm a cat. And I play video games, and this is my stream. Yep. Yeah. You heard that right. Yeah. 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 Yeah, I'm just chilling. I've had a weird day. Not anything in particular was weird about it. Just having a weird kind of day. So I'm gonna play some Limbus Company because I like Limbus Company, and we're gonna have a good time. Because Limbus Company is always a good time. Dun, 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 dun. All right. Boom. I don't have my sound on. Like, I have the stream sound on, but I don't have this sound on. There we go. There we go. I almost did it just on like automation. I would really like to get this ego. I would really like to get this ego. But we'll see. We'll see. Okie dokie, what? I don't even know what that is. Okay. Anyway, let's do dailies real quick before I forget again what I'm doing.
다음 오찬까지 돌아오겠습니다.
Tasty. I drank my drink, and I drink it good.
의도는 모르겠지만 이걸로 공평해졌네.
I drink it and I enjoy it. And you might say, but why would you enjoy it? I don't know why you would ask, but
날카롭고
it's because it's tasty.
정확하게 태어난 곳으로 돌아가라.
All right.
도시에서는 누구도 자유롭지 못해. 저 손님이라고 예외는 아니겠지.
Nice and simple.
그대는 어디까지 각오했을지.
지키기 위해서. 충정. 지령 공지로 적어둔 매뉴얼이 쓰레기로 적용되는 게 보자.
Nice.
재밌네.
The song was
난
scaring me a
너희가
little bit.
좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각했어.
Okay, thank you. Oh my goodness. That scared me.
셋째,
매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네. 흔들렸군. 그렇게만 해.
Kept getting a little too close to my liking.
모험음 중.
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
목을 내놓고 있도록 진짜 발긴다.
Go my friends. Beat them all. Make them rue the day they dared face.
여기 심장이
Yes.
잠깐 처리됐기에
Oh, nice. He was the target too.
방심했고 차라리
Oh, you are so
지름대로
dead.
움직일 뿐입니다.
좋아해.
여기까지 와서
네.
망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
Get him done.
운명적인
예.
지금
수행되었습니다.
그 슬픈 눈빛. 헉조가들. 앞으로 하나.
흙속에 파묻혀
20. Rolling a 28 on a
살고자
skill
하는
2, and he's not even
모든
maxed out, bro.
무덤으로 돌아가라.
What a silly character. What a silly ID.
꽃으로 잠들어.
Ridiculous.
팽
삼코
무쳐 잠들어.
마비 교환.
Is that all?
여기까지 와서 망설일
Not
생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면
Oh, he's one
너희도
stack off? That's
세피라들도
lame.
처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
I have to follow the prescripts. Can't just not follow the prescripts. I'm not stupid. I'm not crazy.
정확하게
I'm not that crazy. Gotta follow the prescripts. Can't just win rated if it doesn't. You follow the prescripts. Boom.
내 안에 갇혀 죽어라.
잠시 아직 5번 더 갈라야만 합니다.
You know, I've yet to use the what is it? Oh, voice crack. What is it called? The you can make it look like another ID. You know what I mean?
눈이 유쾌하게. 그댄 선택받았어.
Whatever that is. But if you put that Heathcliff on it,
태어난 곳으로 돌아가라.
on someone with a bunch of coins for their last,
직접 납득하지 않아도 느낄 수
for their skill
있겠죠.
3,
여기까지 와서
you can get that
망설일 생각은
that
하지
big
않았으면
flash
좋겠어.
over and over and over again,
사람을 죽이고 싶지
and
않았다면
it greatly
너희도
amuses me.
세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
목을 내놓고 있도록.
Gotta finish it off with the Furioso replica.
선택받았어.
직접
Damn.
납득하지 않아도
Only used 2 of his guys.
있으면
이번에도
좋겠구려.
잘해줬어. 유익한 책이
That
또
poor
하나
guy.
늘었네. 도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게 하나씩 알아가다 보면 언젠간 반드시 찾을 수 있겠지. 세상의 모든 것이 담긴 단 하나의 책을.
완벽하게 수행되었지 않은가. 하지만 아직 기약은 없구려.
Look at all those zeros.
그렇다면 여전히 난
Hell
아무것도
yeah.
인가.
Against the counter people too. Do I mean, he's not that scary, really. Let's be honest here.
채워지지
I'm
않을
not scared
부모를
of the teddy
남겨주지.
bear. Even if he does have nails in him. He's not that. I'm not that worried, to be honest. I'm sorry, Mr. Teddy Bear.
의도는 모르겠지만 이걸로 공평해졌네.
Or Mrs. Teddy Bear. Could be a Mrs. Teddy Bear. That's can't. Yeah, she can favored, neutral, favored. And then she can power guard that, I suppose.
파고들 시간이다.
Very good.
잔무에
Bonk, bonk. Unbreakable. Him. Very good. 1, 2.
하나.
That's fine. She was the only one that I didn't care about losing.
찢어 발겨주마.
Impending Ruin is really good.
지름대로 움직일 뿐입니다.
좋아,
실력에게
실력에게
불확실한
불확실한 것은
내
없네.
편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야. 나도 그들도
Because it's like
모두
SP down that works on
빛의
boss.
눈이 멀어버렸거든.
It's very good. Very nice. Who is the target? I forgot that he does that. Ah. What is her chances? She has an effective 14. It's his effective 15. He does have the minus 10% chance to flip heads. So if she hits 1 and he doesn't hit it. Ah, sure, why not?
예측할 수 없게.
Oh, that is a lot bigger than I was expecting it to be. You know what? Fair enough. Fair enough. Oh, okay, thank you.
둘.
I found a picture that reminds me of Aurora.
지키기 위해서.
이제
미래를
직접 목격하지 않아도
각오하지.
느낄 수 있겠죠. 세피라들도 결국 내 편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야.
Whoa, whoa, whoa.
나도 그들도 모두 빛의 눈이 멀어버렸거든.
What's all that for? Why are we bullying the boy? Don't bully the boy. Where's she at? She's still red. Oh, none of those. Sad. None of those again. What do I still have to deal with? These two. Okay, well, you can take that. Take that, she could take that. That'll do.
그대는 어디까지 각오했을지. 5.
Ow! Nice.
헛, 총옥과 비. 코코.
Nice.
새삼스럽지만 꽤
좋다.
괜찮네. 제법을 위해서.
Yeah. As the prescript demands.
잠시.
Nice.
아직
Dagger.
5번 더 갈라야만 합니다.
속사.
Did he die this time?
대행 완료.
He might
미묘를
die this
만들어두길 잘했네.
Oh,
그렇게만 해.
직접 부활을 새겨주지.
I think he would have died if he had
죽는
hit
것도
his
사는
head.
것도
세금하겠네.
지лен했대. 도시에서는 누구도 자유롭지 못해.
Yeah, we have two people at 9.
저승님이라고 예외는 아니겠지.
Grace. It's very over. Even if he weren't at 27. health and
운명적인
stagger.
죽음.
죽는 것도 사악하게. 이번에도 잘해줬어. 두렵지 않습니다. 유익한 책이
There was
또 하나
zero
늘었네.
chance of him coming back.
도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게 하나씩 알아가다 보면 언젠간 반드시 찾을 수 있겠지.
Yummy drink.
세상의 모든 것이
Drinking the
담긴
yummy drink.
단 하나의 책을.
Except I can't anymore because I drank it all. Hi DTT. How long ago did you send that? I had something covering my chat.
본인 또한
Sorry.
감히 나리의
I don't know how long you said.
가족이 될 수 있겠군. 그렇게 된다면
Been there
본인은 더 이상
without
일도
being.
외로울
Just now, you
일도
just got home. Oh, thank goodness. I didn't want to just like ignore you. I was never paying attention. I'm glad I didn't. Hey, hi next gamer. 0751. Have you seen it? You're gonna have to say what it is, but maybe. If you're talking about the new ID, then yes. Otherwise, I don't know. Maybe? The new video? Yeah. Assuming, again, that you're talking about the new ID video. And like the upgraded thread spins and stuff. That. Yes, I have seen it. I have. It looks pretty cool. Am I missing something? Oh, it just brings me to the event instead of to the canto. Okay, or the, not the canto, but. Oh wait, did I finish technically the unsevering? Yes, I did. Oh, but I didn't do the other one. Ignore that. It means clear the intervallo. Yeah. I'm just used to clicking on an intervallo and it bringing me straight here, you know? I was prepared to have to click stages. Okay. Let's play games, read story, and have a good time. Oh, hold on. Let me move my mic so y'all can hear me better as I narrate. Ahem. A funeral was held for Martin and the LCE researchers today. I thought I'd seen more than my fair share of deaths throughout my journey with the sinners. But never before had I witnessed this many people gather in one place to mourn the deceased together. The unfamiliarity made me feel a bit out of place. Aw, Sinclair. Most of the sinners seemed to be feeling that similar sense of being out of their element as well. Some of them were asking Mersol, apparently the most knowledgeable of them all when it came to funeral process and etiquette, all manner of questions for pointers. Expressing respect is the primary purpose. Hand placement and gesture are unimportant if the objective can be accomplished. Hey, where do I put this? Beneath the third pillar to the right. Can't any of you quit chattering for 1 second? Have you all forgotten the instruction to carry yourselves with solemn propriety that befits the occasion? Cut me some slack. I haven't been to funerals all that much. I mean, I did tell you to read the manual. I even underlined all of the important parts for you. Ishmael, the only reader. Sorry, Ishi. The wall of text was too much for me. My focus started fizzling out from page 30 and onwards. Hadn't every sinner here attended a funeral before, back when we set foot in that grim manor in T-Corp? Ah, thou speakest of the funeral held in young Heathcliff's manor, dost thou not? The one bereft of the dead. Bereft of the dead? I mean, someone had to have died, because there wouldn't have been a property dispute big enough to involve the Ufia's association's notarization otherwise. I've said this time and time again, but it was just an intentional anonymity to protect the family strife. Intentional anonymity, is it? If the situation was indeed as thou sayest, then there was no helping it, forsooth. Yet, 'tis a pity that the dead wasn't named at their own funeral. The name of the deceased was... It was Catherine's funeral. She was very dear to Heathcliff. I have thoroughly reviewed the past 5 years' worth of local newspapers pertaining to the matter, yet no such name relevant to the case was identified, manager. Yeah. It's fine, Clockhead. At least you remember. That's good enough, innit? Aw. It had to be the Golden Bow's influence. Somewhere along the way, everyone's memories of the event at Wuthering Heights had become warped. Yup. The sinners seemed to think the Golden Bow had always been there in that manner, and that Nellie was coaxed into stealing it by Herman. Linton, in their minds, was now a grieving brother who had been conducting research for his dead sister's sake. Nobody questioned it. Not Don, not Faust. Every single sinner believed the twisted version of the memory, as if it was a proven fact. Heathcliff and I gave up trying to correct her. Instead, we just checked in on each other's memories every now and then. Because if there's something that he and I realized, it was that anything tied to Catherine had already been painted over. Every detail gilded and glossed over with the glow of the bow. The point is, how should I put this? The circumstances of that funeral didn't exactly leave us much room to properly express our condolences back then. Between Heathcliff running on a rampage and that Hindley guy bent on interfering with the execution of the will, I assumed that sort of impediment was pretty common stuff for funerals, but apparently not, huh? No, well, I think it's actually rare to see a place that follows proper funeral procedures. I've traveled around quite a bit myself, but I can't confidently say that I've ever been to a legitimate funeral. The one at Wuthering Heights was one of the more proper funerals, if only for pretending to have a process. They at least prepared a coffin and even had a formal reading of the will. Seems funerals are far from being an everyday custom in the city. Funerals are considered a rather extravagant practice here as well. Corporations aren't eager to grant time-offs just because an irrelevant someone has died, and the piece of real estate seldom makes it viable to buy land and erect memorial houses on it. Then what other options do people usually have? We used to just leave them where they died. And after one night's sleep, the bodies were gone, just like that. Better than paying loads of money to bury them somewhere. Just have that stir up a load of daft rumors, eh? Rumors? You know, rumors about there being valuables buried with the bodies, or an arm being some fancy prosthesis, all that rot. Better let the dead go in peace than to bury him in a grave, just for some sods to later desecrate it. And Hong Yuan, people tend to set up graves if they have enough room to spare. Of course, there wasn't a guarantee they wouldn't lose the burial room by the next restructuring day. Hohenheim scoffed and hung his head. Odious foolishness, all of it. Comforting the soul of the departed? Another mendacity. All those funds so carelessly squandered, all for the purpose of furnishing the living with a fragile excuse to cling on. Are those words from his heart, or just something said to convince himself? There's something said to convince himself, absolutely. Whichever was the truth, I couldn't see the look on his face with his head tucked so low. The funeral didn't last long. It was just a brief moment of silence, followed by a few quick goodbyes that were shorter still. The ceremony. Why? I wasn't doing this earlier. Why? Okay. The ceremony came to a close once Alyssa, who was still in recovery, came to pay her final respects. The flames devoured the coffins of Martin and the other researchers, announcing the end of their existence with the crackle of firewood. So, suppose you'll be leaving now. Oh. We're staying until Gregor's stable enough to travel. Dante says we'll remain here until Gregor's condition settles. Yeah. Gregor came to his senses again a few days after his unforeseen metamorphosis in the battle against the Thumb Nurse Father. He was given a checkup, and Hohenheim said there's no cause for concern. Physically, that is. The psychological assessment turned up disastrous, to say the least. Gregor was declared unfit for combat deployment for the time being. So you won't be leaving just yet. Good to know. Then I assume you'll be okay with us borrowing Sinclair for a while? Yes. Me? What do you mean, me? Yes, obviously you. The LCYC wants to look into the sign you manifested, Sinclair. Higher-ups didn't waste a second greenlighting the project, which means what I'm telling you is more a notice of investigation than a request for permission. Huh? What investigation? What are you... It's just a rather rudimentary instance of human experimentation. Calm yourself. Human experimentation? Did you really have to put it like that, boss? Don't worry, Sinclair. A swipe or two on your skin and maybe some talk therapy. That's all that there is to it. Of course, if we had your consent, the avenues of research could be vastly... No, I'm not giving you my consent. For your reference, the other departments have also submitted some quite enthusiastic requests for research and observational purposes. Oh, you have no idea. We had to get Boss to fend off the LCA's Mirror World Observatorium department in their hissy fits. They wanted to be the first ones to get their hands on you and spearhead the research, you see. Had we allowed them, they would have kept you for a good few months before letting you go. So the least you could do is thank us. To thank us is be a good boy and cooperate. He's always a good boy. All just in time. Alyssa waved at the researchers who were filling out the funeral hall after paying their respects. It wasn't long before Sinclair found himself surrounded on all sides. Wait, I'm perfectly capable of walking there on my own, so just don't run any painful tests on me. Of course, of course. Stay strong, Sinclair. Godspeed. All I could do was offer an unspoken encouragement to Sinclair, who sounded ready to collapse into full-blown panic any minute. Hi, Chibi. What about you? You not going with him? Oh, it's back to the long-term recovery ward for me. I always thought scientific research was the one thing that flamed my passion, but with the recent events having introduced me to the merits of paid sick leave, I realized that time off beats research projects in my book. Marginally. Enjoy it while it lasts. I highly suspect that every request for PTO submitted by our department will be rejected for the rest of the year. Well, it's true your average corporation doesn't give more than a week off a year. As soon as Alyssa trudged off with her dragging steps, the researcher seized Sinclair and whisked, carried, really, him away. All right, we should get going too. Oh, Do you all have somewhere else to be? Well, I thought I'd go visit Gregor. I'm worried about him. Got something I said I'd help with. Gotta be there for it. I'm going with Sinclair to get some rest. Also to keep an eye on the researchers and stop them if they try anything fishy with the experiments. Let me know later if you need anything, Dante. The Sinners fanned out in different directions. They all seemed to have their own errands to run during our stay at the LCE. Everyone's busy with their own thing. The only ones keeping me in company now were ryoshu, who'd been filling the air around with thick cigarette smoke, and Don Quixote, who was sniffing and asking around at every corner for Vespa in a valiant quest for the new color fixer's whereabouts. Faust was still here too, staring blankly into the air. Is she assessing the Gesellschaft? Seemed to have some time to spare, manager. As I stood there, wondering what I should do next to pass the time, Hohenheim, who had apparently finished tackling and signing the stack of papers, walked over to me. This makes things rather convenient. There's something I had intended to discuss with you and Sinner Ryoshu, a matter that requires your assistance. Oh, what kind of assistance? Wakoa, says CH. Wait a minute. Did Ryoshu just step in as my interpreter? It's not that I don't appreciate her gesture, especially since she'd usually snap at me and tell me to find someone else to interpret whenever the issue came up. But, I can't help but doubt whether her choice method of interpretation actually accomplishes anything. There is, I must admit, a certain novelty in witnessing the reconstitution of that which requires interpretation into yet another linguistic form equally demanding of it. It would seem we are in need of more manpower. Scratching his head, Hohenheim looked around for a moment before coming to a sudden pause as though an idea crossed his mind. At the end of his gaze was a certain someone who was busy badgering LCCA employees with her relentless questioning. Who else, pray, might know if he is, where he is, if thou knowest not? Now listen closely. The one I seek is a bear of hair, fashioned in the likeness of a bull. You there, why don't you join us? Eh? Dost thou speak of me? The LCCA personnel, who were cornered by Don Quixote in her rather forceful interrogation regarding Vespa's whereabouts, took the opportunity and fled the scene without so much as a backward glance the moment their captor turned her head to answer Hohenheim. Indeed, there is a task that requires your assistance. But I have yet more words to trade with the most noble yellow harpoon. You seek to emulate the virtue of chivalry. Does that entail turning down the earnest plea of those in need? You fucking got her. For the sake of clarity and distinction, it would be prudent to assign you a different identifier from that of my assistant. You are to be known as number 2, that is, assistant number 2. I have not yet concluded mine exchange with the yellow harpoon, but no true knight would abandon those who call for aid. Pray, speak thy quest. How may I be of service to thee? Delegating the interpretation of the manager's speech to Sinner 4 has proven counterproductive. As such, your task will be to report to me what the manager says. Oh, that is indeed a simple task. However, this Wakoa eludeth mine understanding as well. Prithee, allow me just a little time to uncover its mystery. Relay the manager's words, not Sinner Ryoshu's. They're asking you what kind of assistance you need. Thank you, Faust. The request for interpretation was not directed to you, but I cannot deny that your meddling, in the present circumstance, is a welcome one. It was simply that the irrationality and inefficiency of your suboptimal staffing choice and workflow have become sufficiently unbearable. Faust hopes this was not some guileful scheme devised to elicit Faust's cooperation. In any case, manager, this request of mine concerns an investigation into the back doors located in the House of Spiders. I deemed the two of you should be the ones most familiar with the structure and layout of the house. After all, you were the one monitoring the entirety of the five-pronged assault operation, and Center 4's familiarity does not bear repeating. Do we go to the House of Spiders right away? HOSRA? You have assisted enough. Alright, she said House of Spiders right away. Obviously. Come on. Sure. I missed what... I saw what he said, but I don't... Anyway. Although not word for word, Faust relayed my intention to Hohenheim, who responded by shaking his head. Not immediately, no. There's one more member you should bring along. Oh, one more member. Seeing me tilting my head, Hohenheim pushed up his glasses. The apprentice who was captured alive in the House of Spiders. Kira! She has regained consciousness. Excellent. I know people love Kira. I know she turns out to be pretty cool. At least Aurora is a big fan. The place Hohenheim led us to looked less like a recovery ward and more like an interrogation chamber. Oh. Well, that does make sense. It does. Though every single medical equipment installed around seems to be state of the art. This place looks well equipped. Probably a direct order from upper management. Although technologies to restore lost body parts are common enough in the city, a facility of this kind is required to preserve the original form of her lower body in the reconstruction process while keeping the cost reasonable. Reasonable, huh? Do I want to ask how expensive the other options are if this counts as reasonable? A windowless room, thick with the sharp scent of medicine and chemicals. Kira was sitting on the bed at the center of the room, kicking her feet as she regarded us. For someone recovering from bisection, she didn't look much different from how she'd appeared when I had seen her throughout the Sinner's shared vision. She's cool looking. She was captured alive for the extraction of information, yes? How far along is the progress of the extraction? Hasn't yet begun, actually. We're waiting until the lines of information that warrant questioning can be isolated. So far, all available personnel have fully engaged in analyzing the documents and items discovered in the House of Spiders. And what you even doing here? There is work to be done, contingent upon information obtainable only from a recent inhabitant of the House of Spiders. And following a discussion with the upper management, I have decided to put you to use as the company had originally intended. No TV, no comic books. Just a super prickly glare and a cold shoulder whenever I ask for something to pass the time. And now you suddenly need my help, huh? Give me one reason I should cooperate. Hohenheim didn't so much as twitch an eyebrow at Kira's biting tone. He merely gave her a nod with a steely, imperturbable expression. I didn't ask for her help. Put you to use, I believe, is what I said. What? Your survival is not incidental. It is the result of a calculation. The company anticipates a potential profit by keeping you alive. Expected gain, as the term goes. Without such a forecast on the company's part, you would have already been disposed of. The upper management consists of people who would be disinclined to tolerate the daily maintenance and depreciation costs of this room, even at half their current numbers. Which brings us to our next point. Should you insist on maintaining this uncooperative attitude, the company may decide to convene a meeting to reassess your worth, or shall we say, lack thereof, in its projected income statement. Well, suffice to say that such a reassessment would skew heavily against your favor. The outcome would be a recommendation for immediate disposal. Hohenheim always had a way with words that could prickle and sting. But with Kira, it almost felt as if he'd traded the usual thorn off for a sharper knife, intent on twisting it right where it hurt. I'm dead meat as soon as my usefulness runs out anyway. It's not like you're gonna let me live, not after I killed a bazillion of your guys. Ah, so you anticipated some form of a corporate-level retaliatory response against your person. That is indeed a curious line of reasoning. Then I must tell you that, unlike your typical backstreet syndicate, such as the Middle, corporate entities of the city tend to avoid choices that may incur losses. The value of the information that could be extracted from an apprentice of the Middle, and the combat prowess honed under the tutelage of a great brother of the Middle. These two considerations are likely what increased your value in the eyes of the company. Ha! Y'all got zero self-respect, huh? You should consider yourself fortunate. Huh? What the heck are you on about? Other companies would not solicit your cooperation by means of a verbal exchange. Your interrogator would simply open your cranium, harvest your brain, extract any and all necessary information without going through intermediary steps such as this. Even without resorting to such methods, the range of available means to compel the disclosure of information is practically limitless. Truth serums, hypnotic suggestion, electrical shock and stimulation, of course, procedures utilizing distortions and anomalies. That being said, the LCE department prefers to distance itself from such uncivilized approaches that may entail complications and after effects. I do hope that we share a similar predilection. You're so frickin' annoying, you know that, mister? The feeling is entirely mutual. I love Hohenheim. Leaving the biting chill of his threats to sink in, Hohenheim turned towards the exit. Give her some push, bring her along. I don't quite seem to be myself today. No, disregard that. That too was a rather foolish thing to say. I will defer this matter to you, manager. Work of this sort likely falls more within your capabilities than my own. And with that, Hohenheim stepped out of the room, leaving me to deal with Kira. His reaction was understandable. The LCE had only just finished laying its dead researchers to rest. Kira was probably the last person anyone would want to face right now, much less speak to. What should I even say to persuade her? I was still caught in thought when someone quite unexpectedly made her way to Kira. Yoshihide? You. Heard you got stabbed in the back by Matthias. That's not true. Papa wasn't landing a fatal blow unless he cut through me too. That's why he did exactly that, to aim for the enemy's head. Besides, he made the right choice. A little sacrificing a thing in a family. Ha! Family coming from him. A middle mutt thrown out of his kennel. Doesn't it sound ridiculous, even to you? That's... thrown out. That fucker Matthias was a GB only by technicality. He fucked up bad. He was still family by name, but underneath it, everyone hoped he'd disappear quietly on his own. He was that family member nobody wanted around. Same treatment for me, being his brat. Not surprising, it's the ST for the bowl cut too. Same tastes? Oh, young ryoshu, could it be that thou dost harbor a passionate zeal for fix? I quickly clasped a hand over Don Quixote's mouth as she smoothly chimed into the conversation. So what's exactly your point? The point is, you're taking too long. If you can't decide whether you want to live or die, I can shorten the hesitation. CQ, or I'll SY and C right this instant. Snap your neck completely. Cooperate quietly or I'll snap your neck completely right this instant. SYNC isn't such a bad way to go if you're keen on taking that loyalty act straight to the grave. Ha. This is so crappy. Whatever. I get it, okay? I'll talk if that's what you want so bad. Wow, that actually worked. Fixers who go out in a blaze of glory aren't actually the strong ones. It's the ones who survive. The ones who live to see another day and keep getting stronger. Anyway, Yoshihide, what's up with you taking in weird-ass abbreviations? Like SYNC? That's so random. Who even says that? Ryoshu didn't bother to reply, simply chewed on the mouth end of her cigarette. Is this really the right call? To her, we're probably people she needs to settle the score with. As if. Half her tattoos are gone, clock. They even confiscated her book. Think the middle sorry excuse for loyalty means so much for this stray that she'd bite us? Besides. No, better hear it from her instead. Hey, tell me why Matthias kicked the bucket. That's because... Well, because Papa was weaker than y'all. Ha! Yeah. You're the jerk's brat, alright. Kira pushed herself up from the bed with a sour face, but at least she didn't argue back. And we called Hohenheim, who'd been waiting outside, back in. I assume the prisoner was successfully persuaded? Come. You'll need to find your weapon on the table. You'll find your weapon on the table. You may use it in the event of an emergency. What the hell? Can't even unsheath it. Ah. You won't be able to use it without authorization. The code has been slightly adjusted. Now then, let us head to the House of Spiders at once. Back door is up and waiting for us. We made our way to the House of Spiders, with Kira trailing behind us, looking like she was smelling something particularly fishy on us. Yeah. Well, it's not every day that you become someone's prisoner and they give you your weapon back and let you walk around with them. She's fun, though. I'm glad that they decided to keep her around. Everyone saw her in Kanto 9, and they were like, "Oh my god, we love her!" And so I'm very glad that she's still around. Ooh. Who do I use? Who do I want to use? I mean, probably this squad. I wish I could use my... Wish I could use this crew. But they're not high enough leveled. If she was 10 levels higher, I might slot them in. I mean, she's basically the same level. Maybe I do it anyway. Yeah, you know what? Let's just go to like this, then just copy that, and then we'll slip them in. Anybody else that I can move about for more points? Yes. Oh, for sure.
군주가 나선다.
채워지지 않을 공허를 남겨주지.
Good enough. True. Truing? Only a few days had passed since our last visit, but the place looked markedly different from what we remembered. The sight of the hollow, frigid atmosphere and the endless stretch of corridors hadn't changed. But Callisto's so-called artworks were now covered in white sheets, and unfamiliar devices were fixed all around the back doors. Prithee, who might these people thither be? Looks like some shady bastards moved in already. Our guarded reaction prompted Hohenheim to step forward and gesture to one of the oddly dressed figures. It seems introductions are in order for both sides. This is team leader Alan from the Wayfarer Company, who will be working with us on the investigation into the house's back doors. Wayfarer Company. A corporate entity partnered with Limbus Company, responsible for providing portal technology. It has, on prior occasion, been referred to as the new or aspirant W Corps, though the name is unofficial. Our employees also have taken to calling you the new L Corp, something we have in common, given that we're both chasing after the same horizon. Ah, I remember. That company's vying to take W Corp's place, right? The same horizon. He's probably talking about getting recognized as a wing. I mean, that's pretty obvious for L Corp. After all, the old L Corp has already fallen, while W Corp, from what I heard, is free-falling at this point. These are the manager and sinners of the LCB department, our field operations unit, frequently deployed to deal with on-site matters firsthand. They have more personnel, but the rest are tied up with other duties elsewhere. Only a handful will be joining us on this investigation effort. I understand. Field operations units are almost always understaffed anyway. The support you've provided is more than sufficient. Alan gave an understanding nod. The man slipped off his bulky helmet before extending his hand in greeting. Pleased to make your acquaintance. The name's Alan, leader of Door Breach Team 4. Likewise. Before Faust could even relay my reciprocal greeting, words spilled out of Alan's mouth in a strangely uneven rhythm, as if my ticking didn't bother him at all, like he was sticking to a script he had rehearsed. I've heard great things about you, Manager Dante of Limbus Company, and the bus team's performance. You capitalized on the suppression of distortions at T-Corp as leverage to push your products, and the profits were nothing short of staggering, I heard. Oh, yeah, we're supposed to be distortion resolving specialists to the public. But what's that product part about? The manager says it was merely a matter of luck. They also look forward to working with you on this task. Oh, are you the interpreter? In that case, I'll be sure to consult the manager only when both of you are available. Sure. Faust didn't seem particularly pleased with the role Alan had pinned on her, but she nodded anyway. She quietly came to my side and answered my earlier question while Alan carried on with Hohenheim. He's referring to the Monolith sales project. The credit was attributed to the LCB, at the express of Mr. Herbert, T-Corp's executive director. Ah, Herbert. Oh, so that's how the rumor spread, huh? We've reviewed the agreements. Now I understand you'll be assisting in verifying what lies beyond the back doors. I'd appreciate it if you could share any prior knowledge you have about where these back doors connect, as detailed as you can make them, if you don't mind. Hohenheim fixed Kira with a pointed look. Though Kira responded by defiantly cocking her head in a show of irritation, she still gave up a sliver of the information she had. Honestly, I've got pretty much nothing if it's about Robo-Unk in his room. Robo-Unk. I mean, I've seen how Albina hit up that door and the other one over there when she was popping out to farm stuff, but... Farm? Oh, it's, gathering material. I see. What kind of material? Human guts and all that. Should come back hauling piles of them. So they're probably connected to some back streets areas. The back streets. Any more details? Can you stop prying? You're low-key pissing me off. What? That's literally all I've got. For real. For a moment, Alan leveled Kira with a stiff expression. And eventually, before I could even register what happened, Kira's head jerked to the side from a sudden punch. I thought Kira was nimble enough to dodge a surprise attack easily, but this one seems to have caught her completely off guard. She stood there, blinking, eyes round in rude surprise. Actually, it wasn't that he caught her off guard. It was the motion of the punch itself that somehow fell off, the fist being raised, the arm being extended, the blow making contact. The chain of actions was there, it just didn't look normal. Did you just hit me? What the hell's wrong with... As Kira reeled from the unexpected strike, Don Quixote spoke up in a cold, sharp tone. Thou, what manner of discourtesy is this? Ah. With all that whining, I thought the brat could use a lesson to remind her of her place. I had no intention of damaging your company asset, of course. I simply assumed that the level of warning would not be inappropriate in this case. Team Leader Alan. That sort of conduct may not be an issue in your organization, but it is here. Should it happen again, do understand that we may choose to terminate today's joint engagement without delay. My apologies. I'll keep that in mind going forward. Good. Yes! Yeah! Take him to the corporate level. Alan stood down without arguing back, but Kira looked far from satisfied. Gets to sock me in the face and walk off scot-free? So frickin' annoying. Fortunately enough, her grumbling didn't escalate into her lashing out at Alan. That punch just now, though, what was that? It exhibited a behavior that defied the standard laws of physics. Presumably a form of technology utilized by Wayfarer Company. Well, they do seem to be teleporty people. So my guess is that they, like, skip through movement. And they, like, hit, like, different stages of the movement, but they skip through, like, in between parts. So ryoshu, give Team Leader Alan whatever information you have. That door should lead to one of the ring-protected turfs. Other two on the left, I remember they were marked with an X painted with blood. But IH and I, where they actually lead, it's all blurry. Seems that's all the information we can provide. Will that suffice? We now know that the doors likely connect to a perceivable area. That's already a big improvement in terms of intel for Wayfarer Company's backdoor mapping progress. Which means there's less chance of us encountering a space beyond human perception past those doors. Alright then. I'll proceed with connection verification. Which door shall we test first? We'll start with the one ryoshu mentioned. Ha! You don't trust me at all, huh? Why even bring me along? Ignoring Kira's jab, Alan began setting up various devices on the door, and soon an elegant white door opened before us. Shall we? Time to go fight the Favists. Art thou joining us as well, young Hohenheim? Just this once. There are procedures for handing over field operations. Okay, let's see what's in there. Yeah, Fauvism. What the hell? Is this some kind of a wildlife exhibit? The moment we stepped in, the lights hit us all at once, drawing squints and frowns from the sinners. Thanks to my lack of physical eyes, I could make out a room filled with statues, or perhaps taxidermied animals. Felt like a gallery of sorts, but it was so quiet that the air itself seemed to carry a strange, somber weight. After a moment, someone shattered the silence, but it wasn't Don Quixote, our usual suspect. Not as bad as the other museum. I agree. This one's That's the whale from the Aid Association Great Lakes special issue. Kira, who had seemed beaten down all along, exclaimed with a bit more energy in her voice. Man, seeing it in real life sure hits different. The Indigo Elder solo one-shots these monsters with that harpoon of his, huh? It's a Great Lake whale. Doesn't look like the one we've encountered, though. Organisms of various sources can be identified here. Singularity modified, outskirts born. They look almost alive. They're not, right? This is probably my favorite faction in the ring. Duh. The Robo-Unk did say the ring has these zoos where they put monsters on display alive. Man, this would have been way more fun if we could see the moving ones. Everything here's dead. Meh. Still looks crazy, though. Crazy sick, though. The vibe really hits. Even though she was trying to play it cool, Kira kept sneaking glances at the massive horned display off to the side, clearly surprised in a way she couldn't hide. That said, I felt a distinct shortage of hyperactivity given the presence of a certain someone in our party. Don Quixote. The eye of a second kindred, of House Tepes. What is it doing here? At the mention of the word kindred, I couldn't help but follow Don Quixote's gaze. Opposite the whale was another kind of exhibit. It contained items leaning on the more gruesome side of things, starting with a crimson eyeball that caught Don Quixote's attention, and body parts like hands and bones that looked as though they had been stripped from the human body. It's a gallery of the School of Fauvism, probably a main studio at that, which comes with a maestro's atelier and an auction house. Alan. We will be making our exit shortly. Prepare to initiate lockdown sequence. Before Hohenheim could even finish his urgent transmission, numerous footsteps closed in from somewhere nearby. Turning toward the sounds of shoes clacking on the floor, we saw strange figures wearing animal masks staring at us. He's so cool. The maestro is so cool looking. That presence. It's kind of like Papa's. Ain't no way. That's not a raid boss we can clear at our level. We gotta get out of here. It's not that simple. Retreating isn't a viable solution here. This door is connected to the House of Spiders. Escaping without installing a security system will invite pursuit. We must stall them until Alan is ready to initiate the lockdown sequence. As tension thickened, one of the strangers who wore a peculiar bone mask stepped forward. The voice that spoke to us carried equal part curiosity and delight. You came through that door. Then the house's fall wasn't just a baseless rumor. A stray little spiderling fallen from her parents' web. How many years has it been? You. Who are you? Ah, right. It makes sense that you would fail to recognize me. I used to wear a different mask back when I used to visit as your tutor, didn't I? A wolf, if memory serves me right. Yes, that must have been when I was quite captivated by the sensation of tearing into the raw, still thrashing flesh of living prey, and a predator's ferocious yet cavernously resonant howling. Rings a bell. You're that maestro whose whole lesson was a 3-hour sermon praising the intensity of primary colors and the strength of living creatures. Benoit, was it? That's right, Emile Benoit. But you can't say but they say you can't hatch a phoenix from a chicken's egg. Doesn't always apply, I see. Looks like that mind of yours is still sly as a raven, unlike your nurse father's. Don't presume. I only remember you because the tactility of hides and guts made for a passable AW. At first glance, it looked like ryoshu was casually taking a trip down memory lane with the maestro. But I had a feeling she was, in fact, dragging this out on purpose to buy us time. The lockdown sequence thing, how much longer till it's ready? Young Hohenheim. The lockdown? Don Quixote, who had been shooting the ring members an incensed glare, sparked by the discovery of a kindred's eye, swiftly relayed my words to Hohenheim without even a hint of her earlier shenanigans. I'm afraid the progress and speed of the lockdown sequence lies in Alan's hands, not mine. It is, by its nature, a time-consuming work. We cannot expect haste. Perhaps that does make this a suitable juncture to trial Plan A. Plan A. Any suggestions that involve Don Quixote removing her shoes will not be dignified with a serious discussion. Instead, maybe what Hohenheim had in mind had nothing to do with Don Quixote's shoes, because he opened his mouth as though he was about to retort to Faust's categorical rejection. But the moment he followed Faust's eyes and saw what she was looking at, he quietly shut his mouth and said nothing further. Faith and potentiality is not something I dislike. As for this, however, this seems more like grasping at straws. At the end of their gaze was Ryoshu's blade, a ryashiki. Huh. I was going to try using it anyway. I've long waited to see if a maestro's death is any different. Telling her that we were just leaving won't work, will it? No, it won't. Every individual present here would be quite the fascinating specimen to the artists of the ring. We are practically a windfall of inspiration and material that has so conveniently been delivered to them. It is improbable that they will allow us to return unharmed. Faust is right. She and Hohenheim are geniuses. Ryoshu is the wielder of the Ryashiki. Don Quixote is a kindred of a higher generation, and I happen to house a golden bow inside my head. I have no idea how much information the ring has on us. But even if they knew nothing, they wouldn't let us go easily. Sure about this, Ryoshu? Doesn't matter if I'm SAT or not, clock. Think of that woman as lay hung, and do as you did in HC's mansion. I'll take care of the rest. Right. That's probably our best shot. What Ryoshu meant was quite clear. Resonate with the golden bow, secure an advantage to fight on equal footing, and catch them off guard by slowing down the flow of time. A cut from the Ryashiki, even if it doesn't give us a real fighting chance, might at least stall the maestro long enough to give us the time to get away. This floor of the exhibit only houses submissions from students and docents. But if you look closely enough, there are some passable ones that show the promise of excellence. And above all, this is the gallery of the School of Fauvism. And mine, the gallery of Emile Benoit. This guy's fit unfortunately goes crazy. It's so cool. Which is why I would have preferred to take you without an unnecessary fight, if possible. A shame. Still, we're talking about a unique relic here. A masterless one at that. Acquiring the Ryashiki makes it worth the cost. If you want a taste. Confusion flickered across Ryoshu's face as she tried to unsheath her blade. What's the matter? How? The lock the House of Spiders used to bind the Ryashiki no longer exists, so why? It's your girl. It's your baby girl. Now that's unexpected. So the rumors of you mastering that relic, were they false? No. Your baby girl protecting you. And I say baby girl, and I mean her daughter. The wound looked like nothing more than a light gash, yet the maestro's contemplative gaze shifted between the blood on Ryoshu's arm and her own, as though the attack had been an experiment to prove a hypothesis. It wasn't hard to guess what she was thinking. Noticed, did you? I had my doubts from the moment I saw you today. Was the House of Spiders a success or a failure? Tell me, Yoshihide, what do you think a serpent's defining strength is? What are you on about now? Ask any student and they'll give the same predictable answers. The deadly venom, the sleek scales. Why, it's lamentably disappointing. The maestro advanced towards us with an assured certainty. Then seized a beige thread dangling from the ceiling. No, calling it a mere thread would be wrong. It was something that resembled a thread, yet felt much more disturbing. I, for one, have a particular liking for the jaw and the spine. The flexibility of the spine linked like a chain, and the jaw bound not by bone but by ligaments that allow the animal to swallow its prey whole. Perhaps I should have said that I admire their structural refinement. The thrice-coiled ring on her finger gave off a cold glint, and the walls and the ceiling suddenly began to echo with the sickening squelch and crack of flesh and bones assembling. Well, what the heck is that? Which brings me to ask, what better way to claim this delivery of promising material with a single bite than a work of art fashioned from a snake? The maestro plunged her arm into the long serpentine body of a monster. Her sheer presence radiated a pressure as oppressive as that of the nurse fathers, only more primal and untempered. Consider it a privilege. This is the first time this piece has ever been exhibited to an outsider. Hohenheim, is the lockdown sequence still not ready? Oh, 1 minute to go. Step aside. The attack from the ego gear Hohenheim hastily brandished didn't even last a moment. The weapon was knocked from his hand. I scrambled to equip the sinners with their identities. Something abruptly stopped the beast-like appendage midway through its hurtling motion. Kira! And the one who intercepted the blow. Ha! Shit! Was Kira, struggling to push back against the serpentine arm with her steel-sealed blades. Kira? Did she suddenly have a change of heart I wasn't aware of? Shit. This wasn't the plan at all. Obviously not. She couldn't have changed her mind all that quickly. Because the look on her face couldn't be anything other than that of utter regret. The middle, For someone who doesn't seem to be a proper member, you've inked quite the quantity of tattoos onto yourself. Aha! You must be the new kit Matthias took in. Why do you stand in my way? Fuck if I know. I'm already regretting it, alright? Damn it. They're defo gonna ditch me here. Why did I even... Must be instinct taking over. Couldn't shake off the opponent's killing intent, so the body chose to clash head-on. So the behavioral facet of the psyche can be controlled with suitable training. Unexpected data, but useful to be sure. Shut it, mister! Quit yapping and let me use my blades! Authorized and ready. Lifting locks now. Kira's thermal weapons emerged from their sheaths with a metallic clang. She used the recoil of the motion to skid back and assume a defensive stance. Naturally, that broke Benoit's arm from the deadlock as well. The maestro lashed out again with the monstrous limb, but... Huh? 'Tis a foul injustice to strike against an unprepared opponent in a duel. Behold, for I shall allow thee a glimpse of the badass form that only the most renowned of fixers have displayed throughout the ages. Seeing an opening, Don Quixote slammed into the air with her full might, knocking it off of its trajectory. Predictably, however, the sheer force of the maestro's attack instantly reduced her to a red sludge of flesh and bone, sending her remains crashing into the door. Ready to initiate lockdown sequence. I will seal the door immediately upon your exit. Everyone to the door. Faust retrieved organic remnants of Sinner 3. As Faust made her exit with what was once Don Quixote, the students of the ring surrounded Kira, barring her way out. A hollow chuckle slipped out of her lips. Ha. Called it for real. This is exactly why I didn't want to get involved. Aw, I feel so bad for Kira. Taking Kira back with us would mean having a sizable force of the ring trail right behind her through the door. Kira, too, seemed to have realized the risk that no one in their right mind would want to take. She lowered her head in defeat, as though she knew full well that the fate that awaited her. But no, we're not going to abandon her. I'm such a dumbass. What was I thinking, diving in like that? You, don't just stand there. Get over here now. Huh? But these guys are going to come flooding in if I... You TTM. Want to get cleaved in half again? You pin this on me later, you're going to pay. Get your ass through this door right now! Blocking the Meister's arm by a hair as it came down on her again, Kira hurled herself towards the door with every bit of strength she could muster. More than a few students rushed in through the doorway, chasing after the sinners who had gone in ahead, but... Lockdown sequence complete. All backdoor links have been cut. Fortunately, Alan managed to sever the connection between the two back doors before the Maestro could cross over. Bull cut? Think you can still use your arms? I'm fine. So she says. I like ryoshu. Kira would be a strong opponent, a strong enough addition to fight for us, but the ring members that have managed to cross formed a rather sizable force. Fighting them off with just the sinners I have at my side would not be the best course of action. In that case... Guys, I assume you're all available right now. As soon as I call out to the sinners, their voices come through Hohenheim's radio one after another. Huh? I guess so. Ready for your order, Executive Manager. I, Otis, am prepared to answer your call whenever and wherever. Hang on. I just need to finish this bite. Everyone to me. Rodian. Wait, or hold on. we get her.
내 편에 설 수밖에
That's
없을
pretty sick.
거야. 나도 그들도
I get double Kira.
빛의 눈이 멀어버렸거든.
Lol. Look, I have 2 Kiras. That's crazy. Okay. Well, let's see what we can do here. Is this... It is a drag. Okay. Well, that's a little lame, but it is okay. Oh, wait. Of course she says that. What am I doing? Obviously, I'm going to be doing these.
지령에 따라 참격.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
Damn, he did 30 damage. Whatever shall I do? Ow.
너희 보조사사들은 나와 다를 바 없을 거야. 그 사람의 계획에 한껏 이용당하고 결국 버려진 신세잖아. 나는 살고 싶어. 너희도 마찬가지일 테고. 그러니 협력해줬으면 해. 단 하나의 책을 찾을 수 있도록.
Let me see if this gives her what I want.
대화를 하는 것이
Let me click on
지령에 어긋나지는 않죠.
Use a skill marked with prescript or hit a target with a marked skill. Market the prescript. I don't remember how it works for defensive skills. I'm just gonna... I mean, we have the same... I have a slightly better chance of getting it to work, is how this works. Okay.
아이씨, 짜증나게. 남았어도 이 정도쯤은.
Get him! Actually, I should look. How does NPC Kira work now that she has she doesn't have her book or anything?
난 너희가 좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각했거든.
How do you work? Now you just have augmentation tattoos. Definitely not middle styled. And now she has grudge. Not the middle grudge. Definitely not. Thermal blades. Okay, so she basically works the same way. She just isn't middle themed anymore. Boom. Boom. Still one-sided guard. Lame. Well, I guess I'll do that.
지령에 따라 참격. 매뉴얼을
So much
만들어두길
damage.
잘했네. 그렇게만 해.
Alright. She almost lost that. That was a little scary.
흙 속에
dead.
파묻혀라. 펜
Nice. We got all that.
필연적.
Oh, nice. She's hitting in the mark too.
새삼스럽지만
That'll pop her up to
괜찮아.
5, right? I think so.
제법이야. 지령의 뜻이니 이건 없으시길. 지령대로 움직일 뿐입니다.
해군. 좋아.
Or does it stop at 3?
여기까지 와서
불확실한 것은
망설일
없네.
생각은 하지 않았으면
Ah,
좋겠어.
there's like a checkpoint at 3.
사람을
Lame.
죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도
Who is it?
세피라들도
Third guy.
처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
Yeah, she does both of those. Okay, so he's hitting that guy. That's fine. A little unfortunate, but it's fine.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
My Kira's getting hit because she's designed to get hit.
샷!
Nice. Ricardo kicking the shit out of that guy. I love Ricardo. He's just great.
꽃으로
Kira just
잠들어.
fucking kicked the shit out of that guy.
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어.
상관없지.
사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도
So
처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
he's dead. Oh, oh. Nice. Good stuff. We'll do that.
파고들 시간이다. 잔후회. 속사.
That guy died. Oh, and we get
살고자 하는
magnificent
모든
end.
것들과
Okay.
꽃으로 잠들어.
Oh, staggered him. That is going to be bad for him. Yeah, very bad for him.
샷!
Nice, she still gets it though.
미래를 과거와 같이.
이번에도 잘해줬어.
Oh, that was it.
유익한 책이
I was
또
expecting
하나
more.
늘었네.
I guess I shouldn't have. That was the first fight.
도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게 하나씩
It's only the first door, and the impediments are already beyond expected levels. I swear I thought that was it for me back there. Events of this nature won't be frequent. We were merely beset by ill luck. If you'd just listened to me and picked another door, we wouldn't have gotten cooked like that in the first place. Like, why even drag me into this if you aren't going to trust me? You weirdos. We would have opened them all at the end of the day. SD. SD? What's that? Same difference. Again, why shorten it like that? Just say duh or something. Or just spell it out and say it was anticipated. That's W-A. What? Good work, everyone. Wayfarer does have a team dedicated to this sort of task, but the mortality rate is quite high. Honestly, I was bracing myself for the worst. The odds of completing the first door of an expedition without casualties are under 15%. This, by all measures, counts as a flawless expedition. Tapping away at his device, Alan addressed us with an amicable smile. He seemed totally different from the same man who had manhandled Kira with a fist to her face. Those Falvists won't be able to cross over anymore with their door completely locked down now, right? That cannot be asserted with certainty. Are you saying more might come? The corridors and back doors have always been the ring's turf clock. Those Falvist beasts have endured as a long-standing faction within the ring. If they've got that much history, they must know many back doors, both the origin and destination points. Alan clarified what ryoshu was hinting at. Yes, compared to them we lack sufficient knowledge of alternate routes, which makes it difficult to prevent infiltration. No need to concern yourselves over much. Even if that were the case, it is unlikely that they would move on the House of Spiders so soon. Eh? They could always just rush for a surprise attack, though. Even that Falvis Maestro seemed to lack clear intel on the event that took place at the House of Spiders. If so, it follows that they will need time to assess and deliberate about the situation. The situation? The logical scope of their concerns will be identifying the organization that has secured the House of Spiders, the possibility that additional traps beyond the back doors, and the like. Once all backdoor-related procedures tied to the House of Spiders are complete, the resulting security framework should be able to preempt and block infiltration attempts. This operation's more important than I thought. That aside, why couldn't I draw the blade? Is it the new scabbard's fault? Ryoshu lifted the sheathed sword with an irritated frown. That's when I felt a faint vibration. The blade was twitching ever so slightly. That quivering most faint. 'Twas seen by all, indeed? Damn, I saw it too. Is it possessed or something? Looks like I wasn't the only one who saw the sword twitching, as though it wasn't pleased at all with how Ryoshu was talking about the scabbard. Ryoshu's gaze lingered on the sword before slowly shifting towards the back doors. Could it be that seeing the scabbard rock back some memory of Araya? Ryoshu, Is it an SS? A demon edge? An enchanted blade? Which is it? It's probably neither of those. Nor is it a sentient sword. This presents a fine opportunity to conduct another examination of the sword. Excuse us for a moment, Team Leader Alan. Please, feel free to go ahead. The attack just now damaged some devices, so we're going to have to perform some maintenance before continuing. Plenty of other work for me to do while you're away, too. Are we to return to the headquarters research facility, then? No, that won't be necessary. There's a facility here that should prove more than adequate. I like the sword. I like that Araya became the sword. Or like her ego is the sword, or something like that. Or the scabbard, not the sword.
하지만 아직 기약은 없구려.
But it's something cool along those lines.
그렇다면
Yeah.
여전히 난
Relics and the sign.
인간.
The sign. Damien has one of those, and he's really awesome and Kyoto. Hohenheim brought us to what looked like a research lab, lined with cables, rows of screens, and diagrams full of complex symbols and shapes. I didn't know there was a place like this in the House of Spiders. This is a forward base, constructed by Limbus Company, following Operation Spider Pyre. It did not exist prior to the house's fall. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena. Why? No. Free me from the yowling. I wonder what makes us like swords so much in fiction. I don't know. They're cool though. Maybe just because of the like an inherent history, you know? Like it's one of the first tools of violence, you know? And it's so interchangeable and so simple in idea, yet so it allows for a lot of creativity. So I think that's probably why. Yeah. I think that's probably why. And the more it gets used in popular media, the more popular media like is attracted to it. And the style of fighting with a sword is also an interesting one, especially as it's grown in fantasy and film. You know, real sword fighting, very different, but like a spear usually isn't seen as something as cool, because with a spear you're trying to, you know, outrange your opponent, keep them away, kill them before they ever get to you, or, you know, you're throwing it or something. But with a sword you have to get, you know, down and dirty, and you're clashing with the opponent. It feels a lot more. It feels more refined than like a fist fight, but it feels more intimate than something like a spear or something like that. That's my guess. All those things combined. It is intended for additional backdoor investigation and research into irregular phenomena observed during the operation. Irregular phenomena? An example. Research subjects such as a spatial analysis of the correlation between the emergence of Sinner 11's sign and the manifestation of possible future. Oh. Looking around, I spotted Sinclair and a group of researchers surrounding him, the same people who had dragged him off earlier. They were accompanied by a gaggle of sinners who had tagged along to either watch the show or kill some time while they took a breather after work. Hohenheim, how long will the examination take? Sinclair's biometric assessment concluded that the analyzer device should be available for the relic now. Which means it should be finished in an hour from now at the latest. The scabbard rattled again at the mention of an hour. I don't know why or how, but the way it swayed almost felt like a child trembling. Can you speak Vietnamese? Nope. Hi, welcome in, Kang. Kang? I'm gonna go with Kang. Hi. I cannot. No Vietnamese. I like Vietnamese food, though. Food tasty. It's moving again. Come along, ryoshu. I expect you will want to witness the procedure. Fine. Smiley. Smiley face. Hold on, I have a smiley face too. Hold on. Which one is it? Is it this one? Yeah, look. I have a smiley face. I can look extra happy. Oh, hold on. There we go. Yay! Okay. Time to get Sinclair. Wait. I was making my way towards Sinclair, who was getting bombarded with questions when an unexpected figure behind a pillar caught my eye. It was Vespa Crabro, with a big piece of paper covered in crooked handwriting taped onto his back. Snack thief. Ah, manager. Charon's snacks. Mr. Stringbean ate up all of them. I'm sorry, I have to turn off the smiley face. How could he? Vespa, I thought you were cool. You don't eat up Karen's snacks. I'm sorry, but I think there's been some misunderstanding. Verge, kick his ass. Not only is this matter not worth pointing fingers over, but Charon also shares some of the responsibility for leaving them out on the table unattended. Still, I would prefer you exercise more care next time, or you'll put me in a tough spot. Understood. Charon, super sulky mode engaged. Not talking for half a day. Deploying super pass bitter candy. Beep beep mode disabled. I'm not sure if this is an appropriate request, but may I remove the paper from my back now? It's a little inconvenient for me. Charon forgives this time. Next time, no mercy. Best make sure she doesn't listen to that radio channel again. Virgilius looked on with an inscrutable expression as Charon peeled the snack thief sign off of Vespa's back. How could he steal her snacks? Horrible? That's what I said. That's what I'm saying. She forgives him, though. Just this once. And only because she got a sour candy out of it. Make sure to remember this, so I don't have to think I'm burning through what little candy chance I have left on such trivial nonsense. Thank you. Vespa gave a polite thanks, but he was already picking something off another plate and stuffing it into his mouth. Wait a minute. I was saving that for later. I assumed you were being picky. Well, now you know. Yet I still see you gobbling up my share. Aki took my snack too, Verge. Kick his ass. Rodion Romanovich. I am aware that half of the total snack budget allocated to each sinner is being funneled into your snacking expenses. And now you're raiding the LCE's supplies as well. Chill. That's how it's been agreed upon, okay? Besides, that's that and this is this. Roland! The lines on Virgilius's brow looked deeper than usual today. Hoping to help him out of the endless cycle of snack-related headaches and to satisfy my own nagging curiosity, I drew near our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Wait. That just makes me think that Dante is like walks up to Virgilius and like holds out his phone and just shows him like some stupid TikTok. Wait, that's so funny. Hold on. Oh no, it's the one I meant to press. I drew to our guide and broke his brooding silence with my TikToks. Oh my god. That's so funny. TikTok. Shows him a silly cat video. Shows him brain rot. 6'7" brain rot. Did we learn anything about Sinclair's sign? Dante is inquiring about the outcome of the research on the sign. Hold on. Laughing made my head a little light. Okay. I've heard from the researchers, but nothing of particular significance came out of it. Observation of the sign has so far been limited to 2 individuals, the manager and Sinclair. Due to the limited accessibility of the phenomenon, the only verifiable information has so far been its existence. Researching that which cannot be observed is bound to be difficult. Faust has a point. Aside from Sinclair, none of the sinners can actually see the sign. And the same would go for the researchers. Even Sonia said only a select few people could perceive it. If there were more individuals bearing signs, there would be a wider pool for a comparative analysis of statistical samples to narrow down the scope. However, records indicate no suitable references exist. At present, the research effort is limited to reducing variables, such as whether or not the irregular phenomena are tied to the location where the battle took place. By individuals bearing signs, you mean like people like Demian and Sanson? Wait, then could those guys do what Sinclair did? Pull in some superpowered future self and just wreck everything? Even Sonia? I should step in and put an end to this subject before Roji gets the blues. I don't think so. From what Ishmael and Faust reported back then. Right. Sinclair from the future said each sign carries a different power, I think. Maybe, you know, those layers of light rings Damon used to finish off Cromer, or Sanson dragging us into his story. Those could be it. Aye, that doth seem plausible. So none of that information we can confirm yet. Correct. As you have stated, any discussion of this subject would not venture beyond the realm of wild speculation. Nothing has been proven yet. Ergo, fear would be an unnecessary response at the present. This is, at best, grounded in supposition, but it would seem that the researchers are coaxing forth a hypothesis from the vestiges left in the wake of Sinclair's future self. Oh, that bit about the sign maybe being some singularity or whatever, yeah? The precise position of the hypothesis was that the fundamental principles of the signs working may be equivalent to those of singularities or relics. But as no actionable evidence was obtained from Sinclair, there is presently no means by which this hypothesis may be validated. I see. Then nothing came out of them dragging Sinclair off for research. Oh, you also thought I was being dragged off, but still let it happen anyway. No, I mean... I'm kidding. Just thought I'd try going along with the mood. The old Sinclair wouldn't have even thought to joke around like that. He's really changed lately. For the better, I think. So, anything happen we should worry about? I stuck close to him, just in case. Nothing serious came up. Just took some blood, small skin sample, checking to see if the sign reacts to electrical stimulation. Yeah, I had to fill out some questionnaires too. Things like, please describe what you remember from the battle exactly as it happened, or list the sensations you felt when you regained consciousness. And your memories of that moment have yet to return. No, I don't know if they'll ever come back, actually. Faust said they only exist within my future self, so... Wait, but for my future self to even have those memories, shouldn't I carry them in the first place? Which comes first? A paradox, so it would seem. In such a case, that Sinclair is merely one branch among many possible futures. If the future unfurls into boundless branches by means of ceaseless bifurcation, then the body of information that consults a certain future would scatter into grains of more fleeting than dust, to diminish to ever reverse their course and trace their path back to the self that now exists. Is that the theory suggested? Not a certainty, but a plausible interpretation. Here you go again, more of that nonsense only you lot understand. Oi, memory or not, that future guy still came out of him, didn't he? And some part of him's got to be left in there, yeah? Like muscle memory or whatevs. Perhaps you can pull off some of those tricks from back then. Tricks from back then? Heard you kicked it off proper out there. Even pulled out that trick from that plastered old geezer, right? Not just that, he was using that Hmong technique quite effortlessly, too. What? The glowing ring thing? Yep, the glowing ring thing. He had two of them coiled around his weapons. I used the glowing ring thing? This is the first time I'm hearing anything about it. Alright, so what exactly is the glowing ring thing, anyone? Maybe some technique that enhances physical capability? I mean, I guess that flashy aura that makes you real tough is one part of it, but there's gotta be more, right? I don't know. Could be a secret finger thing they pass down to their members. Technique gear, something like that. Bro, we have fought with Virgilius. You know Virgilius has them too. Look at it. The Black Coney leader, the Lei Hung prick, and the nurse fathers we fought. Whole lot of them fingers, ain't they? The notion seems to unravel, for even amongst the LCD, there were those who came to wield it. Virgilius too. So what, only the proper hard bastards can use it? Some posh top-end trick, is it? Without anyone in particular prompting it, the sinners slowly turned their gaze towards Virgilius and Vespa. I only learned to wield it from my team leader, too. I have a sensory understanding of Shin, but I can claim nothing too profound. What I can spare are some rumors, though they are without proper sources. Rumors? They circulated amongst elite fixers and association leadership, that there exists a power called Shin, capable of enhancing the body without having to pay expensive upkeep costs. A rumor amongst fixers, sayest thou? Yes, even the technique to manifest it. How-to tips, really. Spread through hearsay. Oh yeah, that tracks. That super rookie column in the latest mag bonus vid? Bro was really popping off with it. Straight up aura farmed with a shiny mong wrapped around the weapon. It must be that mine eyes are yet to privy to seeing such a marvel in a video. Wait, you serious? It's in the latest issue, literally on the videotape in the back. Maybe you missed it. Videotape? Alas, for many a week I have been stranded from Mephi, raving me of a chance to read not only the prior chronicle, but the latest one as well. Woe's me. When I return, I shall feast through the night upon those noble exploits of adventuring fixers. As Don Quixote dramatically spiraled into a state of utter dejection, Otis cut in the conversation, her gaze narrowing with suspicion. From what I recall, the Mantle of Shin grants its users a high degree of physical enhancement. There is no such thing as reinforcement without supply. No power of that magnitude comes without an equivalent cost to wield it. That power relies on emotion and will for manifestation. Its output is not consistent like prosthesis and augmentation, and depending on how it is used, the consequence it demands can reach levels comparable to the ego you use. You mean to say it exacts a toll upon the mind? I can walk you through the fundamentals if you'd like. From what I observed, it appeared to be a technique reserved for those of considerable strength. At our current level, is it not unreasonable to assume that we could make use of it? Regarding that, our team leader has been conducting intensive research, and according to her, physical strength itself has little bearing on one's ability to learn and wield Shin. As the Yellow Harpoon says, it is, in essence, a power that can be learned by almost anyone, provided they know the proper method of training it. Vespa's brows visibly twitched the moment Yellow Harpoon left Virgilius's lips. Yeah, doesn't seem like he's a big fan of his own title. The Yellow Harpoon. Well, it fits, I think. He's got those yellow stripes on his clothes. He uses a harpoon. Can you argue with that? If I were to exaggerate, even Sinner Yi-sung's pre-contract self could manage to learn it. Why must this self of mine be chosen as the point of comparison? Well, because you're the wimpiest one here. Don't let it get to you. Even so, it would be a mistake to assume it's a power anyone can grasp with ease. As long as you are bound by contract as sinners, your ability to wield it will be severely limited. Unless you rely on particular identities, or come upon an extraordinary circumstance. Shame that. Would have been useful. Hey, then what about me? Can I learn it? Kira, who had been fidgeting with her fingers, raised an arm and asked as though she couldn't hold the question back any longer. Come to think of it, the Mithril nurse father didn't use any Shin or Mong. Papa never taught me how to use it. He always said I could get stronger without some stupid crutch like that. Huh. It wasn't that he didn't teach you, he couldn't. He was a man who probably had never once reflected upon his own sins. A piece of trash like him would be incapable of comprehending such a power in the first place. Vespa's responses always come back dripping with venomous hatred whenever the conversation turns to the topic of the fingers. Kira must have noticed too, or perhaps she couldn't find the right words to push back. Either way, she held her tongue, her expression settling into a blend of frustration and something that looked a little too close to sadness. If you want to reduce it to a yes or no, then yes, you will be able to learn it with the odds in your favor. That is assuming the company decides to tolerate your continued existence. I already said I get it. As it stands, you are nothing more than a pending case of disposal, closer to a threat than you are to an ally, strictly speaking. Don't get comfortable because the manager and the sinners treat you with lenience. Step out of line, and you will be the one to pay the price. There was nothing in what Virgilius said that I could argue with. Kira had been a member of the House of Spiders. She murdered scores of LCE researchers, and left us with plenty of memories we'd rather not revisit. For now, we're just working together. Not contesting the decision that doesn't mean that we have no hard feelings towards her. Leaving Kira alone with her thoughts, the sinners slipped back into their own business. Snacks, idle chatter, and conversations about whatever had happened around the LCE. The examination is concluded. I suppose it won't be an issue to let you hear the results together. Before we knew it, Hohenheim and ryoshu returned. The blade is actually Uriah, and Uriah is doing epic. And she's super epic and cool, but she's a sword now. I like that the sword trembled like a child when it heard examination. That's really cute. Renketsuen. Renketsuen. What does that mean? I don't know. To present the conclusion first. No, the notion of the sword being a sentient one is incorrect. The locus of the will is not the blade, but the scabbard. An ego, forged in a rather paradoxical nature. Yeah, that would be the most appropriate description. Being a sword sounds both chill and bad at the same time. Well, it's fine, because she's not sentient, and it's not actually her, it's her ego that manifested as a scabbard. Not a sentient sword, eh? Roshi's grumpy dismissal made the scabbard quiver, almost as if it had taken offense. Somehow, I felt like I could understand what Hohenheim meant by will now. It was a reunion of sorts, one that gave both a tinge of sadness and hope. If the scabbard has its own will, does that mean that the owner of that will can be resurrected? It is too premature to deliberate on the matter. The state of existence under question is not one that may be defined as death at the moment. I assume they asked whether it can be revived or brought back to life, so to speak. Even supposing that survival is a fixed variable, and that the reconstruction of the original corporeal body falls within the realm of theoretical possibility, the probability approaches zero given the limits of today's technology and conditions. We researchers are inclined to entertain even infinitesimal. Huh. I didn't know that's how it was spelled. Infinitesimal chances, but in the terminology of the lay people like yourself, such a prospect would be labeled impossible, wouldn't it? There is no need to fixate on the impossibilities of the present manager Dante. Such matters are reserved for us scientists to hold on to. Right. But we may have uncovered a thread, something that could lead to restoring Ryoshu's memories. Though, again, that too is merely a possibility. A far more practical avenue for you to assume at the moment, nevertheless. And to that end, yes, further analysis on the scabbard itself would be necessary. Coordinate with Alan for your next duty. He should be in the ring nurse father's quarters. That will be all. Hohenheim cut himself off there, clamping his mouth shut, as if any further exchange might scatter and mess up the theories he'd constructed in our conversation. All right then, before we go, anyone want to tag along? Munching on food, averting their gaze, sinners were pretending they weren't interested at all. But going by the way their forks had long since stopped moving, it was pretty clear to me that they'd been intently listening in on our conversation. Where are we to go? Oh, right, sorry, I forgot the rest of you weren't there with us earlier. Faust, Don Quixote, ryoshu, and I have been checking in on where each back door leads. And Kira, too. The prisoner of war executive manager. You talking about me? Yeah, I'm working with them too, yeah. Best reminder to tread carefully. Should you cause even the slightest harm to the executive manager, you'll be held accountable without exception. Yeah, sure, whatever. Kira needled at Otis with a mocking pout, but oddly enough, she didn't appear particularly irritated. Anyway, I think it'd be better if we had a few more people just to be safe. One of the doors we went in earlier went straight to a ring corridor. It was a close call. Otis and Heathcliff's hands shot up the moment I finished speaking. I would very much like to accompany you, executive manager. I knew I could rely on you, Otis. Your recognition of my loyalty honors me, executive manager. I, Otis, understand better than anyone your concern about the peril of working with a prisoner of war so liable to betray. You have your indispensable self proceed. To have your indispensable self proceed with only a handful of soldiers under your command. This cannot stand. I'm afraid I won't be able to focus on other duties without personally seeing to your safety. I get it, Otis. You've made your point clear enough. Not keen on how I just keel over the moment you summon me. Feels a bit dodgy, that. I better stick to your side and scrap it out myself. You probably don't need me to come along then. Guess you can just summon the rest of us like you did earlier if shit hits the fan. A research yet unfinished holds my efforts. I shall join you once it's found closure. I don't think I can help you much where you're going. I'll pass. I will follow, if that is your order. No, it's fine. Just get some rest. It'll probably be okay. I can always summon them again if things get too dangerous. But for now, I should go see Alan again. No, rest, Marisol. I know your turn's coming next. No, it's fine, really, Marisol. Don't worry about it. You're gonna have a terrible time coming up relatively soon. Don't worry about it, man.
당장 집행해주지.
Jimpenjibijibiji. I don't know what he said. I'm sorry. That was probably... I didn't mean to... Anyway. Ah, you've arrived. I was waiting for you. We sifted through and isolated the doors with the highest probability of leading into the ring's gallery. The next step would be to enter the alternate door you mentioned, but... Hold up a sec. I was actually gatekeeping more stuff. Huh? Gatekeeping? Are you saying you have more to tell about gates? Doors? Yeah. That door over there, pretty sure it connects to N-Corp's nest. I saw Albina going in all hyped about some canned whatever it was. And that wooden door with bandages wrapped around the handle, Papa would go out there to cross out vengeances. From what the book said, it's probably a turf protected by a thumb subsidiary or something. Unlike earlier, when she only offered vague snippets, even about just a single door. Kira was now feeding Alan a stream of intel that seemed solid, even to someone as clueless about the back doors as me. She's far more cooperative than anticipated, even after that Alan character roughed her up, from what I hear. Yeah. Yeah, that accidentally double-clicked. You'd think she'd clam up out of spite. Wonder if she changed her mind about cooperating with us. Nevertheless, we can't let our guard down, Executive Manager. There's no telling when she might turn on us. Frickin', I can literally hear everything you're saying, you know. Alright then, based on the intel, please proceed by investigating the safest doors first. As for the high-risk ones, we'll continue checking and let you know which ones you need to enter. Alan tinkered with the devices around him and flashed a couple of doors with blue light. Guess that means we start with those. Alright, where do you guys want to go first? Well, they all look about the same. Just start with the closest one. Well, Alan did say these are the safest ones, so it shouldn't matter which. Just as I reached for the nearest door, as Heathcliff told me to, ryoshu suddenly veered, stopping in front of another one that stood a few steps apart. This door, it feels familiar. You recognize that door? I think I passed through it a few times when I was little. Hardly had ryoshu stopped speaking when a fragmented memory, painted over in parts, slipped into my mind. Sorry. It hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh, I know. Let's go for a walk. I don't recall much about it. That memory just now, could it be tied to Araya? Let's start with that door. Okay, this one, yeah? There we go. Patient as ever, Heathcliff shoved the door open and strode in first. The rest of us followed, including Kira and the other sinners. And this place is... Judging by its state, it seems to be a welfare facility located within a nest. Most likely a park. Every sod walking here's dragging some animal along. Means they got money to burn. Proper rich lot, this place. The walk, the past ryoshu mentioned in her memory, the sight of people fussing over their pets. The pieces clicked together and I voiced the other memory I saw back at the House of Spiders. It's her doggy! Did you ever come here with a puppy named Saru? Yeah, I remember that. Not a puppy, though. Saru was a bit bigger by then. Sorry, it hurt a lot, didn't it? I should have finished my homework faster. Oh. Why isn't she getting any better? I gave her lots to eat. Oh, I know. Want to go for walkies? You love walkies, don't you, Saru? There's this workshop Dad always visits. There's a door connected to a park. You can go right now. Ryoshu's childhood memory burned bright. I accidentally double-clicked into vision before passing. That was her as a kid? Verily. Such gentleness doth seem most unlike the young Ryoshu. Hey, clock. Who said you could show them my memories willy-nilly? No, come on. You know it's not something I can control. GG. Back in the House of Spiders, I was the only one who could see the vision of Ryoshu's past. This time, though, her memories seemed to manifest for everyone around, like we experienced in H-Corp with Honglu. Probably means... Why are you all staring at me? That's so random, what the hell? Did you not see that just now? See what? You guys zoning out together? Huh. I guess it doesn't apply to Kira. Then again, unlike how it was between Lin Dayu and Honglu, Kira doesn't have any direct connection to Ryoshu. I guess it makes sense. Was that adorable hound thy companion of old young Ryoshu? Indeed, my one and only best friend. Because of that, Saru would be locked away in the vault every time I had to depart on an assignment, with a spiral driven through her. First ever leash. Looking back, it might have been a kinder fate had she died sooner. To inflict such cruelty upon a voiceless animal, how can such wickedness be born? What happened to Saru in the end? She died before her time. I don't recall why, but there was this day when Saru wouldn't stop whimpering in pain, and I shut myself in my room, crying. You were? Not someone else. Who else? Oh, see, it was me. Even after witnessing the fragment of memory, Heathcliff looked utterly unconvinced. While I was grieving, Callisto offered a solution. Said he would give me a gift the next day. What I received was something he called the Beastbone Blade. A tanto that would whine and yelp in Saru's voice with every swing. Ew, no way. Always knew there was something creepy with Robo-Ankh. So that's how he killed your dog, huh? No, he didn't kill Saru. The tanto was alive. Did you just say live? Bloody hell. Right nutter, that psycho. Her eyes were embedded in it, like endorments, and they'd stare at me in accusation. The tiny heart beat as though it was quaking with fear. It was a horrible sight. I felt pity. So I shortened what remained of her time with my own hands. Got me thinking after hearing all that. Why do you still mess with that art thing, then? Let's be honest. Seeing something like that, you'd want to steer well clear, yeah? Right? Those things he called artworks were all so cursed. Straight up nightmare fuel. Like, I haven't even really checked out other Rings artworks outside Albina and her Nurse Fathers, so maybe I'm just a noob when it comes to all that. But yeah, their stuff never gave me any art vibes, for real. I thought the same. Well, I was terrified at first. Yet as I learned more, there were some facets that suited my taste. Thou findest appeal in those grotesque creations? From what you've told me about Callisto, it looks like he failed to stick to his own advice. But there's something he always used to say. Art is wholly subjective, and thus one must never expect the understanding of others. The uncanny, the horrible. There's a beauty that lies in the grotesqueness of it all. I can't say I get it, but if you say so. Nah, but bloody hell, how do you end up getting used to that kind of thing? Why do you need to understand? You're not an artist. I got used to it. But that bastard Callisto's installation artworks caused night terrors and nightmares for... The scabbard moved, and Ryoshu came to a pause. It trembled, but there was once a strange liveliness to it, as though it quivered between fear and anticipation. Night terrors, crying from nightmares in the House of Spiders. There was actually someone who got scared of the Ring stuff back in your day. I need to check something. We've seen enough here, let's go back. Yeah, let's. Nothing else worth checking around here anyway. With the inspection complete, we quickly followed Ryoshu back. She stood in front of the artworks, covered in sheets of cloth, lost in thought. Right here, there used to be a huge artwork displayed here. I don't know what kind of impulse struck him, but the bastard went about fussing, saying he needed practice so he wouldn't lose his touch. Mommy? What's wrong? Over there. I thought I told you to keep the exhibition in your own room. Ah, you've returned, Yoshihide. I decided to attempt installation art of a somewhat larger scale this time, but I ran out of space in my gallery. People were screaming. Dearest Yoshihide, Araya has reached an age where she may be introduced into the world of aesthetics. Surely this wouldn't be a problem. It would. You liking it and me acquiring the taste doesn't mean Araya will. Let's get you back to our room. I was hugging something in my arms. It was crying. Saru? No, it's too big to be Saru. The lacerated memories can never be made whole, no matter how many fragments are glued together. We could tell Ryoshu everything we knew about Araya, but it had never truly reached her. I see. This hollow void, this must be Araya. The sensation and emotion for what's been emptied began to entangle with Ryoshu's memories. And that makes it possible for us to reminisce about Araya together. The soft rattle Araya gave seemed to show how pleased she was with this small step. Alright, time to check out the next door. We entered several more back doors that Alan pointed out, but unfortunately, none of the places we ended up stirred Ryoshu's memories any further. Yeah, pretty much nothing here. I think we're done. What the? How did they get in here? Startled, Kira pointed ahead where figures wearing animal masks were hauling what looked like massive lumps of flesh hidden behind a tent of sorts. Those ring assailants from before? Didst thou not say thou hast sealed that door earlier? How then did these villains come to stand before us once more? They probably infiltrated via an entirely separate route, another back door. As you could see, their objective appears to be the retrieval of the ring nurse father's artworks.
Get on with it. We need to move as many pieces as we can before we pull out.
Wait, but I thought Robo-Unk was washed. He's got so many fanboys and fangirls here. Does his artwork possess value in and of itself? Or is it just a case of posthumous premium of death effect? Think about it. Get it twisted. Some of the pieces have already been taken. Of course, they are of little value to both of our companies. Watching them sweating and struggle to drag those mediocre pieces with them. Pretty funny. But imagining how those pieces will be labeled as some pathetic notion of heritage connected to my name on their description plaques, pretty unsavory. They may be occupied with transporting those objects for now, but they will likely soon find cause to harm Wayfarer and the LCE personnel stationed here, Executive Manager. It would be prudent to eliminate them without delay, considering the ring's reputation. Otis is right. Better wipe them out before they try anything stupid. Guys, got another job to do. Lend me a hand. The radio didn't buzz with the sinner's replies this time, but it should be fine. Well, that's not worrying at all. I feel like they should respond. At least one of them. There's like 6 or 7 of them.
세피라들도 결국 내 편에 설 수밖에 없을 거야. 나도 그들도 모두 빛의 눈이 멀어버렸거든.
Yep.
지령에 따라 참격.
Get him!
태어난 곳으로
Rip them apart.
새삼스럽지만
Discord
꽤
messages.
괜찮네.
아이씨,
제법이야.
짜증나게.
Oh, they're all in it. Am I winning? I seem to generally be winning.
공포에 사로잡혀 바닥을 기는 모습은
Okay.
어디서나 별반 차이가 없네.
Next grouping of folks.
그래, 내가 왔다.
Maybe I should be using the Falvis to fight these people, but
재밌네.
필연적.
난 너희가 좀 더 어설플 거라고 생각했거든. 매뉴얼을 만들어두길 잘했네.
I don't think I have them leveled. I have a great bleed team, but I don't think I have the
충족. 잠시.
Falvis leveled.
아직 5번 더.
I mostly have blood fiends.
이 정도쯤은
I don't even have the... How's the spiders people leveled for bleed?
여기까지 와서 망설일 생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
Nice.
벤
Bang, 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 bang. Nice.
꽃으로 잠들어.
Another stagger? Tremor putting in work?
진짜 일어나. 아직 11번을 죽어야 한다고.
지령대로 움직일 뿐입니다.
Good work?
초월.
여기까지 와서
불확실한 것은
망설일
없네.
생각은 하지 않았으면 좋겠어. 사람을 죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터 거래를 하지 말았어야지.
What are people's grace? 3, 3, 3. Okay. Nobody I have to care about getting past 6 yet.
생기였습니다.
살고자 하는
Nice.
모든 것들과
Love me a magnificent end.
무덤으로 돌아가라.
He's dead. Yeah, there he goes. This guy's fine.
아이씨, 짜증나게.
벤
Oh, he's not fine. The follow-up.
운명적인 죽음일세.
I didn't see who had the
미래를 과거와 같이.
who had the mark, who had the target.
여기까지 와서
Was there anyone I
망설일
cared about?
생각은 하지 않았으면
썰어버려도
좋겠어.
상관없지.
Yeah, she
사람을
had 6.
죽이고 싶지 않았다면 너희도 세피라들도 처음부터
Oh.
거래를 하지 말았어야지.
They might all die this turn anyway. I don't think I should even bother. Okay,
하고들 시간이다. 잔
kill him dead.
아이씨, 짜증나게. 운명적인 죽음일세.
Yeah. It's a lot of damage.
이번에도
Yeah.
잘해줬어.
Yeah, they're dead.
유익한 책이 또 하나
They're
늘었네.
dead.
도시에는 내가 모르는 것들이 많아. 이렇게
With this, the last of the ring's infiltrators have been eradicated. Is that all of them? Ryoshu kept glancing around, as if searching for someone, but unfortunately, no other ring members were in sight. Right, but where the hell did those lot come from anyway? Weren't just the first wave, and more of the sods legging it from the back, well, like they'd been lurking somewhere else. According to the tracking logs recorded by the surveillance devices installed here, they appear to have crossed over from another corridor. Another corridor? Where precisely does the designation another corridor refer to? The room resembling a shopping mall, the one filled with batches of toys on display. Your company, if I recall correctly, designated as the corridor of the middle nurse father. Oh. I suggest we relocate there. Your assigned tasks here have been wrapped up. Oh, and before we set off, do you have any information to share in advance? We're planning to compile a comprehensive encyclopedia cataloging the most notable characteristics of these corridors and all of their connection loci. Your cooperation will be most appreciated. Kira seemed to hesitate, gnawing at her nails as though she were going through an inner struggle. Before long, however, she snapped out of it and looked like she'd locked in on a decision. Sure, I got stuff to tell you. Like, hella stuff. Some parts are fuzzy, not gonna lie, but I can still recall like 20 places, clear enough. I mean, it was home for me and Papa, so. I got nothing. Never once regarded that fucker's room as my home. My memories of it are all fragments at best. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Whew. Let me retry that sentence. The scabbard gave a faint, restless stir. Perhaps it wanted to comfort Ryoshu in the only way it could. And accompanied by its tremors, we began to move towards the corridor of the middle. The middle. Whoa, it's the middle corridor. Where could it be? Well, obviously, it's on the far right side of the building.
모처럼 괜찮은 예술을 보나 했더니
Where else would the
벌써
middle
모
corridor
애를
be?
전부 채웠군.
All right,
방지할 사고도
I'm gonna
해야
end it there.
할 뒤처리도 없나.
I got through a third of it. Check that out. Wait. There we go. And then I should have all of these. Epic. Anything in my inventory that I should care about. Got an ego spinner. I got a bunch of stuff prepared for like the ryoshu one that's coming out soon. Speaking of, let's do a 10 pull on this. Because I'm just gonna get the ryoshu ID with the shards I have saved. So I would like to try and get this Rogian ego without having to shard for it. That'll have to be at a later date, though, it would seem. Expires the 14th? Yes. The 13th for me. So I have 5 days. Okay. Thank you for watching. That was fun. Focus on the tip of my creamer? Yeah. What? Something wrong with that, green man? Hello, green man. Is there... Yeah. It's the best combination I could find. I've tried a lot of combinations. Tried to figure out the best ones. I can't find. I've yet to find one better. Do you have wing beat? It gives the word meat. I do have wing beat, and I do know that it gives meat. But I just like. It has some really good ones, and focus on the tip of my meat is pretty funny. But I feel like it's too. I don't know. Like it's too on the nose. Like meat could also mean like different things. But creamer is like, I don't know. It hits that perfect middle ground. Just that sweet spot. Where do you get creamer? One of the 7 association people. One of the 7 association groups of people. Is it this one? Because he likes coffee. Hold on. I'm doing it wrong. Wait, how do you get him? How do you like see the world? Oh, I have to uptie him for that, don't I? Do I have you uptied? No. I swear I have A7 uptied. Don't I? Do I not? I do. Okay, there we go. Yeah. One of these. One of the 7s. That's where you get creamer from. Because they talk about, like, the coffee. Anyway. That is the end of my stream, though. I did a third of... What was it? Twining threads? Yeah, I did a third of twining threads. Did my dailies, couple of hours. Oh, let me exchange for the rest of these real quick. I already have all those ones, so I will take those. There we go. Okay, now I'm done. Okay, thank you for watching. Thanks for showing up. I hope everyone who came by had a good time. I'm interested to see more locations that we go to. It's nice that we're getting more ryoshu story. I'd say like the biggest complaint I had for Kanto 9. Amazing story, by the way. Very few complaints about Kanto 9. But the biggest complaint I had is that it didn't feel that much like it was Ryoshu's Kanto. Like, I don't know. They focused on a wider spectrum. I felt like Ryoshu got done a little dirty. But I'm glad that they're doing more for her now in the Intervallo. I appreciate that. Yeah. I will talk to you all Sunday. I'm going to be doing art with Aurora, and it's going to be a great time. We're going to be following Bob Ross, like the Bob Ross things. We're going to be doing digital art, so it's not going to be exactly the same as the Bob Ross, but we're going to do our best to follow the Bob Ross guides, and yeah, we'll show it off at the end. All right, until then, bye-bye. Bye-bye.